Now, from Television 9, Washington's news station, this is Eyewitness News Weekend.
Hello, I'm Jane Van Ryan. 8 more Maryland savings and loans have received tentative approval for federal insurance tonight, raising the number of approved thrifts to 9. Chevy Chase Savings and Loan was given conditional approval last Thursday. The others include Laurel Savings and Loan, United Savings Association of Rockville, the Columbian Building Association of Hartford County, and in Baltimore, St. Casimir's, Madison and Bradford, Madison Square Permanent Building Association, the Putty Hill Permanent Building Association, and the Weekly Savings and Loan Association. According to Governor Harry Hughes, the S&Ls that receive federal insurance would be allowed to end the $1,000 a month withdrawal limit. But tonight there's no word on just when that will occur. The people of Florida are praying for rain tonight. Authorities say a heavy rainfall is about the only way they'll gain control over the worst wildfires in that state's history. 110,000 acres of brushland have been burned and hundreds of homes destroyed, leaving their owners looking for a way to cope with the loss.
We lost everything you can mention right there. All of us.
We have some valuable pictures, and all the rest of the memories we'll carry inside. And that's about all we have.
We were able to find a few pieces of Grandma's china and things like that.
The worst fire is along a 100-mile stretch of coast between St. Augustine and Cape Canaveral. Wildfires there have forced mass evacuations. A congressional investigation is underway into last week's siege of a radical movement in Philadelphia. Today, that city held memorial services for the 11 people killed in the police bombing and the almost 300 people left homeless. Renee Ferguson reports.
Today, Philadelphia prayed. In churches throughout the city, a prayer for a neighborhood and its people.
I want to ask all of us to send up a prayer. To pray for families of those who lost their lives. To pray for those this morning who lost all that they owned.
Clifford Bond, who led the neighborhood effort to evict moves, says he and his family must not only rebuild their house, but also their spirit.
The scars that I have will never be taken away, and I hope it really doesn't affect my children.
Laverne Sims and her children did not attend church today. The former members of MOVE were guests on a radio talk show where they vented their anger at Mayor Good.
We want you to hear the screams of those children as they was crying out for help, and nobody was there to help them.
People are talking about pictures that they lost of their children, baby shoes that they lost of their children. At least they had their children right there with them to hold them and talk to them. All we have is pictures of our family left.
Tomorrow, the city is scheduled to begin tearing down the burned buildings in this neighborhood. But today, the prayers were not only for reconstruction of houses, but also of lives. Renee Ferguson, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Memorial services were also held this afternoon to honor the District of Columbia's war dead. Beneath the dome of the memorial, the names of all the women and men who gave their lives in the First World War rest in an honored place. Today's ceremonies paid tribute not just to those who died, but also to all D.C. veterans who have served their nation. 24-year-old Scott Brown of Falls Church was killed in a car accident on Canal Road early this morning. District police are still searching for the driver of a station wagon whose abandoned car caused Brown to swerve and hit a nearby utility pole. The driver of the station wagon disappeared after his car hit the same pole earlier. Starting tomorrow, the U.S. will have its say in Cuba over the airwaves. And United Airlines and its striking pilots meet separately with a mediator in Chicago. Those stories and more next.
Here's hot news from Oldsmobile. 8.8 annual percentage rate financing from GMAC on one of the hottest new cars in years, Calais from Oldsmobile. Now, with 8.8%, you can save hundreds of dollars in financing on Calais. But remember, to save with 8.8%, you must take actual retail delivery from dealer stock by May 31st.
For money-saving details on 8.8% Calais financing, see your Washington area Oldsmobile dealer.
Slow down, We want you to know each one's someone different with their own way to go. Slow down, hear what each one's saying. Slow down.
Tonight, take them to dinner at Roy Rogers and let everyone be themselves.
Roy Rogers says slow down.
Do you know me? It's frightening how many novels of suspense I've written. But still, when I'm not recognized, it just kills me. So instead of saying I wrote Carrie, I carry the American Express card. Without it, isn't life a little scary?
To apply for the card, look for an application and take one.
The American Express card.
Don't leave home without it.
What a selection. Do you have gift certificates?
Yes.
Return policy?
Yes.
Do you engrave?
Yes.
Oh, Waterford, Hamilton?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Well, how can you have such low prices?
Madam, this is W. Bell.
And this Magnavox AM/FM stereo, it's also a cassette recorder?
Yes, just $47.50 with two 4-inch speakers, a built-in condenser mic, slide volume, balance, and tone controls.
And Magnavox quality.
Yes.
W. Bell. Do you ever say no?
No.
Oh.
While some people are crying for work, some Fairfax County employers are crying for workers. The Virginia Employment Commission reports there are between 3,000 and 5,000 job openings in that county, and many shopping centers and construction sites are understaffed due to a shortage of service and blue-collar workers. Some employers are looking for workers as far away as North Carolina and the depressed steel towns of Pennsylvania. A federal mediator has been called in to meet with United Airlines and its striking pilots. Talks begin tomorrow morning in Chicago, with the mediator meeting with each side separately. Meanwhile, United has begun advertising for permanent replacement pilots. Don Torrance reports.
It was a good day for these United Airline passengers. They were booked on Flight 812 to Chicago, and Flight 812 made it out, despite the 3-day-old strike. It taxied out to the National Airport runway, and as it waited for clearance, another United flight landed. But these were the exceptions. United usually puts 15 flights in and out of National on a Sunday. Today it managed 5. One reason it managed even that many is Captain John Dyer. He is defying his union, crossing the picket line and flying. He says there has been harassment.
We were followed to the hotel. A couple of cars, it was almost like some of the movies. One broke off at an intersection, another followed us. They made some obscene gestures.
Dyer, a pilot for United for 16 years, says the main issue of the strike isn't worth it. The pilots are fighting a 2-tier pay system that will allow the airline to hire new crew members at lower wages. Dyer also says he doesn't believe United would change its standards just to fire the strikers and hire new pilots.
United has always had very stringent hiring requirements. They're not going to relax those.
The striking pilots aren't worried about losing their jobs to scab pilots either, but for a very different reason.
The qualified pilots are not available. It will take a long time to train these pilots.
Some of the ground crew members and baggage handlers are worried. The company has given them no guarantee there won't be layoffs should the strike by the pilots linger.
One ground crew member who didn't want to go on camera told me he sympathizes with the striking pilots because they're fighting for those who come after them. But he said he is honoring the language of his union's contract that forces him to stay on the job. And he's taking United's word there will be no layoffs for the first 2 weeks of the pilots' walkout. Don Torrance, Eyewitness News.
Defense Secretary Weinberger is in Brussels tonight, where he will press NATO members to increase their defense spending to 3% over the rate of inflation. Ironically, Weinberger's own budget could be capped. Congress is considering bills which could limit Pentagon spending in 1986 to the inflation rate. Radio Marty begins broadcasting to Cuba tomorrow from its Washington studios. The federally funded project is patterned after Radio Free Europe. Radio Marty is expected to be on the air 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, broadcasting news, information, and a less than rosy picture of communism. The weather in Washington, though, is expected to be rosy tomorrow, at least for the beginning of the week.
Looks that way.
And Doug Hill's going to have the complete forecast next.
You want to know the toughest coffee critic in the world? Me. Now, I never studied at the Cordon Bleu, but I know exactly what I like. Nescafe Classic. And if you don't agree, that's okay. Nescafe has 4 coffees. One of them's bound to taste your way. Bold Brava, my own rich classic, smooth Silka, natural decaf. Each one custom blended, each one visibly different. Isn't that nice? Coffee no one has to agree on. Which one's made to taste your way? Nescafe.
I grew up with Toro equipment here at Latrobe. I know it lasts. That's why our new rider is a Toro. It's so durable. It carries a 2-year warranty. All the Toro riders do. And talk about versatility. It side discharges, vacuums leaves, mulches, even bags. And it makes one heck of a golf cart.
Save up to $300 on a Toro rider with bagger during the Toro Open at these fine dealers.
Announcing a very special opportunity on a very special Cadillac, the 1985 rear-wheel drive Fleetwood Brougham. For a limited time, special factory incentives make it possible for your Cadillac dealer to pass along significant savings on this Cadillac tradition, putting you in a very good position to drive home a great value on a new 1985 Fleetwood Brougham.
Best of all, it's a Cadillac.
In 18th century America, life was different. It still is. Come back in time to colonial Williamsburg. Come, taste the different foods, hear the different sounds, smell the different smells, meet the different people. For a vacation that's totally different, come to colonial Williamsburg, where 18th century America lives.
Are you ready? It's time for the big moment.
It's coming in just a matter of moments. We'll take care of a few statistics, Jane, and then we'll do what's become a tradition here on Sunday nights the past couple months. Here are the numbers. Watch them because they're going to go real fast. 75 and 51 are high and low. 77 and 57 the normals. 96 and 43 the records for this May 19th. Right now, skies are clear at 65 out of National Airport. Southerly winds at 6. 65% humidity, a rising barometer, and moderate air quality. We've had to wait a whole week for it. Now, once again, Sunday night, it's live Sunday night at the Weather Map. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. For the next couple of minutes, we're going to jam-pack this with all kinds of pictures of what's happening. Let's check the next 5 days. Here we go. Here's what I'm calling for tomorrow. 85, 83 for a high. We'll cool off Wednesday and Thursday, warm back up by Friday. What about the chances of rain, you ask? Very well, here we go. Not much chance tomorrow, but Tuesday and Wednesday, as the cold front approaches, a pretty decent shot of showers and thunder showers. If the cold front lingers, they could last into Thursday, and finally it'll dry out on Friday. Now, what about tomorrow morning? Getting up bright and early, want the wake-up weather forecast? Well, at 6:30 in the morning, look for clear skies and temperatures between 47 in some of the suburbs, 53 degrees downtown. Tonight, it's clear over Maryland and the District, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and a few scattering of clouds here and there. The only precipitation is out in the Midwest, the Upper Lakes, some thunderstorms. Temperatures cool in the southeast, 63 at Norfolk, 57 in Pittsburgh and Boston. But look at these numbers in red. Warmer air pushing in from the southwest, has it at 66 in Toronto right now, 70 in Nashville, 74 in St. Louis, and 70 in Chicago. The big picture we call the continental sector shows clouds over Florida with some showers and thunderstorms. A low pressure center just overrunning, just warm tropical air spilling out of the Gulf of Mexico, putting showers where they need them the worst over the torrid grasslands of eastern Florida where they have those brush fires. Meanwhile, an upper level disturbance over the Rocky Mountains spreading these bright clouds, producing lots of thunder showers. Our next weather maker is this cold front. It's over the Great Lakes now. It'll be here by Tuesday. Ahead of it, warm air. Behind of it, cool air and showers. These are the areas of showers and thunderstorms that are really big tonight. The red dots, look at our legend. Red is heavy, and heavy thunderstorms from Texas up the eastern slopes, the Rocky